Cracks in another building. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heise here, and welcome to another episode of Heise Says. Working through my stein of coffee, a new one to be honest, and I thought we'd have a look at this article from the ABC that was sent to me by a viewer. And they're talking about the Revesby Workers Club car park and cracks in the building. Now, before we have a look at this article, let's jump over to the Google Earth view here, and I'll just get off Street View here. We can see this is the Workers Club, the Revesby Workers Club, right along the train line here. And we will zoom out. This is in Sydney. I will zoom out here. And we can see some of the other high-rise and apartment buildings that have issues over here with regards to what I call the triangle of fail from Sugar Cube, Zetland and Mascot Towers. There's an area to watch, particularly with all the contamination going down here. So if we're having an issue over here, perhaps it's got more, well, I'd argue, it's showing you that there are fundamental issues that are not localized on one particular area, but are more prevalent in the construction industry. My argument, or the drum that I am beating, is that we need to look at the way these buildings are procured, the procurement process. We've got Opal Tower. There's a court case going on there, and the blame game is being played forward. And one of the interesting observations is Opal, that the builder is saying, oh, the structural engineer approved this, stamped this drawing or stamped this information from the shop drawer, so they approved it, so they under-designed it, so there's going to be a whole lot of back and forth. But because Opal was designed and constructed, it's easier for the builder to make changes like that. So let's look at a representation of these differences, particularly how the information flows. So I will just jump to my tablet here and do a bit of sketching so we can look at the idea, and I'll just move the microphone slightly. Now, what we're going to look at in a project is, you've got here we have our developer. Okay, and say the developer wants to build, a project, a building, we'll just say, a high-rise building or an apartment tower or anything. Now, the developer, under a traditional procurement method, will engage a design team. Okay, that could be led by a project manager or an architect. And traditionally, the architect will depend on a series of different specialists to provide support. We have engineers, structural engineers, civil engineers, you've got accessibility consultants, any type of specialist that you could need. And this team will work together to spit out a construction set of drawings. Okay? Now, during construction, this set here, this is very important. This makes part of the contract, which is the relationship between the developer and the builder here. Okay, now he's been engaged to make this building, and they're referring to these drawings. Okay, so they're part of the contract. Now the builder will also hire a series of people underneath them to help them build it, subcontractors, other designers to make changes, a whole raft of specialists as well. Let's say there's one subcontractor here, and he's making a set of shop drawings for concrete panels. Now these shop drawings, they will get sent, and I'm just going to change this color here. They will get sent back to this team for checking. Now what happens is we have here, the architect is the intermediary between the two things, between the builder and the developer. So sitting in between them in the construction process, in the contract, in traditional method, you have a party here that acts as the go-between for all information, for all requests, for all changes. Traditionally, that was the architect. You have to act impartial. So if the builder sends these drawings, these shop drawings, they get sent along here, because this is part of the contractual process, to the architect. The architect sends them to the whole team to review, to provide feedback, and also sends it to the developer. Now, if the builder makes a change on these drawings, that will have cost implication, and that is a modification, an adjustment to these contract documents. So it needs to have the tick off of the developer, the cost implications need to be changed, it needs to have the review of the design people, and it may have implications on the rest of the design. There may also be, this cost may not just be a saving, the builder may have to incur additional costs for design fees or the developer design fees, and it all gets a bit messy. So there's a back and forward here. This is a variation request in some regards if it's a drastic change from completed documents. So you can see how there are many eyes in this process. This is the traditional method. But if we switch here, and we'll just turn this one off, if we go to a design and construct method, which is becoming more popular, this is where you have the developer, and he will have a design team and this team is the same. It's an architect and a whole bunch of other specialists, and they will make a set of documents that are probably to a lesser extent not as fully complete as what we had in the previous one. So here in the traditional, you've got fully worked out documents, you've got specifications. Wait, let me change my layer. You've got specifications, other documents that go with it. So any change of that is a change to a very thorough set. But in the design and construct method, it will be a less thorough set. There'll be a lot of things left up for the builder to decide. And then the developer will take this set and will send that out. And that will be part of the contract with the builder. But the builder needs to finish off this set. So the builder then gets control of the design team. Usually, sometimes they'll even go to another design team. And they still have all their other own people here. So let's say in this circumstance, because then the developer usually has a project manager up here managing this contract between these two people, and all of this team is novated to the builder. So now, if you're on the design team, your contract or your contractual relationship with the developer has ended, pretty much. So if you want to communicate your developer, so say you got a set of shop drawings here where they make changes to this, to what you anticipated, but remember, you don't have thorough documents. It's not 100% finished, because you're working for them now to finish it. So they're making some changes which may be slightly different to what you originally intended or what the client wanted, but you're working for them now. What happens is the information gets sent to you, and you have to tick it. And if you're saying here, you go, oh, there's some issues with this, I'm not happy with it, your information, you cannot contact the developer anymore because you're not working for them. It all has to go through Mr. Builder. And then Mr. Builder has to send it through the PM. What happens if they don't want to do that? What happens if they're not happy with that suggestion? And that's the differences in these procurement methods, and that's why we have potential for conflict of interest. Okay? It's these relationship issues here. So guys, I know that's a very brief and dodgy diagram, but you understand the difference here. We have this process here where the architect is the in-between, the contract administrator, the impartial party to it. And you're not working for the builder. The builder is essentially working for your client. So if you're not happy, it's very easy for you to communicate that to your client if you're concerned, and you're also working with a more thorough set of documents. Where if we go over to this methodology here, or this procurement method, the documents are not as thorough, and that communication to the original client has been removed. So you can see how there's a potential for, well, you don't have the same rigorous assessment or accountability that you would have in the more traditional method. So you may ask, Florian, why are people using this new method? One very easy and simple to explain reason. Because see here, we need a full set of documents. That takes time, and that also takes moolah. Oh, I've got to unhide the layer. I'll get there eventually, guys. Also takes money. Whereas in this scenario, you can have a partial set of documents. You don't have to spend as much money on it. And you may even be able to do off the plan. Off the plan purchases, guys. And you know how we were looking at other videos where they were discussing off the plan and drastic changes. There you go. There you go. This is my concern. This is why when they're saying, "Oh, we need to have more licensing," that will address it all. I don't think it will. So, guys, let's jump and have a look at this article now. I don't know if this has been done as a design and construct project, but this is something I just want to reiterate and bring to everyone's attention because it's not really being discussed by the media at all. So, cracks found at Revesby's Workers Club car park, prompting fears of the next Opal Tower. Severe cracking has been found in the car park of the popular Revesby Workers Club, with chunks of concrete seen below damaged pillars, the ABC can reveal. The damage is located in the basement of the multi-story car park, with large cracks appearing on 3 pillars in the southwest corner. There's quite severe cracking there. That's a major issue, building defects consultant Ross Taylor told the ABC. It's quite fair enough for people to have a heightened awareness and then ask the question, is this right or is this wrong? Well, yeah, that's terrible, honestly. That's a huge defect. The damage has been brought to light almost a year after the Olympic Tower at Sydney Olympic Park was first evacuated due to cracks there. Since then, a number of other residential buildings have been found to have major defects, prompting the state government to appoint a special building commissioner to try and clean up the construction industry. The damage at Revesby was brought to light by an anonymous letter to the ABC titled "The Next Opal Tower." Next to the last column, the most serious, was a lump of concrete the size of a house brick sitting on the floor, the letter said. Well, there you go. It makes me wonder, with all the infrastructure work going on at the moment, and most being planned, who is auditing the builders? The Revesby Workers Club said it was aware of the issues and had already acted. As a result of the building movement, the two materials are pulling against each other, resulting in cosmetic cracking, the club said in a statement. I mean, there you go. What's happened is now they've lost the cover to this concrete, to the reinforcing in the concrete here. So the issue is water's gotten in there and rusted it all. So it's cracked, and you hope it doesn't track through all the rest of the Rio in there. The club said remediation works were expected early next year. See, this is the thing, guys. If it was a drastic thing that needed evacuation, they'd evacuate it. I'd be confident that most builders would do that, and no structural engineer would allow it to continue. Structural engineer Paul Seward said the cracking needed to be fixed. Defects like this are common in the industry and are usually the result of inadequate engineering details or poor experience with the contractors on site, or a combination of both, he told the ABC. The car park is a popular parking space for people attending the venue, but also nearby shops and Revesby train station. When contacted by the ABC, a spokesman for the City of Canterbury Bankstown said it appeared the council had not been informed of the damage and that an officer would undertake an inspection of the site this morning. So, there you go. We're having more of this cracking, more issues in Sydney. We'll have to add another one here. I don't know if this is as significant as what we're seeing in Opal Tower. I can understand why people are concerned, but if it's only this one column and it's just superficial, it isn't as concerning as what's happened in Opal, needing the evacuation of the entire building. But everyone is worried right now. Everyone is scared and everyone is concerned because we're seeing these construction issues appear more and more. What do you think, guys? Are you seeing more of these issues? Are you more vigilant when you go out and have a look for damage to buildings? Let me know your experiences in the comments below. If you like the channel and you'd like to help us, please subscribe. Also, we have a Patreon. You can make a small monthly donation. And if you want to help us out, you can use our affiliate links. We've got Amazon, eBay, and now Independent Reserve, where we receive a small commission when you make a purchase or a transaction. It doesn't cost you a cent, and it's a great way for you to support your favorite content creators. And finally, we have merch on the Heise Says website. So guys, thank you all very much. Take care, and I will talk to you later. Bye for now.